Hi everyone, welcome to the session. Today we will discuss the advanced topics under the deployment. So we will be discussing some disk type, what kind of storages we have available during the deployment in Azure. So let's begin. So let me start with the deployment of the Windows server again so that we can just get into deep dive. So I will just deploy one of the Windows server here. So what I will do, I will just simply go to the search box and here we can search for virtual machine. So in the previous session, we discussed how we can deploy one of the virtual machine in the Azure platform. So today we will again do that, but we will be discussing some more options inside that. So I will quickly click on create button. Then we need to click on Azure virtual machine. Then, as I mentioned last time also, whatever deployments you will make in Azure, so subscription will always be common. You always have to choose under which subscription you want to deploy the resource. Resource group is also going to be common. You need to choose under which resource group the resource is going to get contained and the region. So you have to decide under which data center location you want to deploy the resource. So these three things are going to be common. So I have only one subscription, so I will be choosing this. In the company, as I mentioned last time, there can be multiple subscriptions. So you have to choose the subscription as per the requirement. So it will be there on the SOP, it will be there on the ticket itself. Now you have to choose the resource group. So since I don't have any free resource group, so I can create a new. And I told you last time also, you can create the resource group directly or you can create it during the deployment as well. So if you want to create it directly, you can simply search for resource groups like this. And here you can create the resource group. So you can just choose the subscription, then give any name. For example, suppose if I give RG-01, and you can now decide the region. So these are the locations where the Azure data centers are available. You can deploy your resources in any one of these locations. So I will be choosing UK South, click on next. Then we also discussed about the tags in the previous session. So we can just define the tags here. So I will give honor as John and purpose I will mention as testing. So two tags are enough for me. Click on next. Then these are the summary. Then click on create. So once the resource group is created, like this, you can see it has been created now. Let's refresh. Let me refresh the entire browser. Sometime it takes the time to get sync also. So let's get to the resource group. So we have the resource group now. So here we can choose the resource group. So I will choose my subscription, then I will choose the resource group. So I want to deploy this under RG01. Under the virtual machine name, I will give VM-01 as a name. Then we have to choose under which region we want to deploy the VM. Here, there is one point to remember. It is not specifically required to keep the resource in the same region as of resource group. Resource group का जो भी region है, जरूरी नहीं है कि आप रिसोर्स को भी उसी रीजन में डिप्लॉय करोगे. जस्ट लाइक यू कैन सी माय रिसोर्स ग्रुप इज इन द यूके साउथ रीजन, बट इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी दैट आई विल हैव टू डिप्लॉय ऑल द रिसोर्सेज इनसाइड दिस इन द यूके साउथ ओनली. रिसोर्स ग्रुप यूके साउथ में है, हो सकता है मैं वीएम को ईस्ट यूएस में बनाऊं, सो दैट इज पॉसिबल. सो रिसोर्स ग्रुप रीजन एंड रिसोर्स रीजन डज नॉट necessarily have to be same. It can be different as well. So this is one of the notable point that you need to remember. Availability we will discuss in the future topics. So it is related to the high availability and redundancy options. For now, we will choose no redundancy required. So I will be choosing this. Last time we discussed about security types. So we have generally two types of security, standard and trusted launch. If we go with the standard security, so standard security is basically the basic level of security. It is going to encrypt your data. But when we talk about the trusted launch virtual machines, so it is going to secure your data as well. There will be the encryption on your data and that will be on the rest. So whatever drives are attached with your virtual machine, every drive is going to get secure using the layer of encryptions, and it uses the TPM, the VTPM module. It is like BitLocker. In the BitLocker, the TPM is one of the uh, location where the storage and encryption key is going to get stored. So when we talk about the Azure cloud platform, so here it uses the VTPM module. So whatever security, whatever encryption keys will be there, it is going to get stored under the VTPM. So it is more secure as compared to the standard one. But cost has a difference. If we choose the standard, so there will be variation in the cost for some instance. And if we choose trusted launch, so there will be again, there will be some slight variation in the cost. Now we have to choose the image, like which operating system you want to install inside this server, inside this virtual machine. So we have plenty of operating systems available. If you click here, you can see a lot. And even if you click on see all images, so you would be able to see a lot of image options here. So let me show you how many images are available. So generally what happens in Azure, there is a Azure marketplace where all the images are available and you can choose them. They are licensed image. You have to pay the cost accordingly. So for some images, there are per minute basis cost as part of the rent. And for some images, the license cost will be pre-embedded. So you have to pay the monthly charges accordingly. So we discussed that in the previous session as well. You can refer those videos. Now let me show you. If I click on see all images, so it will take you to the marketplace. So this is the marketplace of Azure where all the images are available. So you can see the Linux flavors like Ubuntu, and you can also see the Windows. The Windows 10, Windows 11s are also there. That is for the VDI testing purpose. And if you scroll down, so there are some application embedded images as well. Like you can see the SQL Server 2022 on Windows Server 2022 is available. So in case you want to use the SQL Server, you don't have to install the SQL later on. It is available along with the pre-image embed. So you can use this image, and by default you will be getting the SQL pre-installed. But you have to pay the cost accordingly. So for SQL Server, the cost is going to be as part of the pay-as-you-go model. You have to pay the cost. The license cost will be divided into your pay-as-you-go billing. So it's not going to be a monthly rental, the fixed rental. It will be on the basis of usage. So you can see the Red Hat Linux images as well. So there are a lot of things like the softwares are also here. See, you can see the Visual Studio softwares are also there. So you will get a plenty of things. See, so it has a lot, like 696 categories are available. And when you go to the compute, so you would be able to see all the images related to the compute. So you can explore this option. You can directly explore this option through the marketplace. You can search for the marketplace and then you can go there. So it will take you to the marketplace. For now, I want to use the Windows server. Now let me tell you one thing. When I say Windows Server, so if the companies are using the Windows Server, so there are some variations, there are some variants in the Windows. So if I talk about Windows Server history, I will only be focusing on the Windows Server history. So if I talk about Windows Server history, so the first operating system by the Microsoft was NT 4.0. This was the first Windows Server operating system of Microsoft. Right after that, it came Windows Server 2000. Then Windows Server 2003 got invented. Then Windows Server 2008. Then Windows Server 2012 came into the picture. Then Windows Server 2016. Windows Server 19. Then it came Windows Server 2022. And even we have Windows Server 2025 as well. So if I talk about the organization, so the organizations are specifically using Windows Server 2019, Windows Server 2022 nowadays. So you will see a lot of Windows Server options over there. And we will be discussing this one, and we will also discuss about the Linux in the future. So you have to decide which operating system you would like to use. So 2025 is the latest release. It got released in the month of November 2024. So it is not used very much, but companies have started to upgrade. But you will see 2019 and 2022 a lot. So when I talk about Azure Cloud Platform, so in the Azure Cloud Platform, it supports Windows Server 2016, 19, and 2022. So below that, you will not be able to find in the Azure. So if you go, you can select the operating system that you would like to use. We have Windows Server 2022. So these are the edition. The data center edition is standard enterprise. You don't have to worry about this one because this is being managed by the server team. So data center is one of the edition which is used in the big organization where they have a lot of user base. So data center is the highest edition under the Windows category. So you can choose Windows Server 2022, 2029, 2020, 2016 accordingly. There will be slight difference in the features. Interface will be slight different, but the working style is going to remain same. So I will be choosing the Windows Server 2022 here, which is Data Center Edition. So just click on this. So because it is infrastructure as a service, so here we are not responsible for the management of underlying hardware of the VM. We are responsible for the operating system because we are installing it, plus whatever additional configurations we will make, whatever additional workloads we are going to run on this, so we are responsible for that. But regarding any underlying hardware under any physical infrastructure, we are not responsible. Now, if you scroll down, so there is one option, run with Azure Spot Discount. So time to time, what happens? Microsoft releases some discount facility. Let's say you want to use one of the virtual machine for uh, testing purpose. So for testing purpose, you can use one of the sport discount VMs where you will be getting the discount on the pricing. But there is a disadvantage of the sport VM. So in case if Microsoft is running out of the servers, so they can quickly take back their sport discounts virtual machine. Plus, if someone is able to pay, someone is in the mood to pay the full cost of the VM, so they will also take it back. So there is no guarantee that sport virtual machines are going to be intact. जब भी Microsoft को requirement होगी, they will take it back. But until you are not running any heavy workload, you can use it for the testing purpose and you can avail the discount facility. तो यहाँ पे अच्छा खासा discount मिल जाता है. If you check this, you can appear for the discounts. But in the company, they generally don't consider the sport discount virtual machines. For small kind of testing, they prefer it, but for the production scenarios, they never prefer it. Now we have to choose the size option. Size basically means here like what kind of hardware configuration you need. So if you click on the drop down, you will see a lot of sizes. And if you click on see all sizes, so it will take you to one of the console. Let me show you. So, so when you click on see all sizes, so it will take you to the page where the sizes of the VMs are available. So here you can see some series are there like B series, DC series, D series, and there are some categories like general purpose. If you scroll down, so you will see different categories here. See general purpose, memory optimized, then you can see again the general purpose. So general purpose VMs are a lot. See memory optimized category. So there will be multiple categories here, GPU, and you can see in the next to every configuration in every category there are some virtual CPUs. If you will go, well, let's say with D2 वर्जन 4, अगर आप D2 वर्जन 4 पे जाते हो विच इज जनरल पर्पस कैटेगरी, तो यहाँ पे आपको 2 कोर्स ऑफ सीपीयू मिलेंगे, 8 GB ऑफ रैम मिल जाएगी सर्वर के साथ, एंड यू विल गेट 4 GB ऑफ डेटा डिस्क, and then IOPS will be 3200. Premium disk are not supported, and this will be the cost of the VM per month. मतलब ये VM के डिस्क का साइज होने वाला है per month if you will go with this one. So, what are the meaning of all these things? So, when I talk about Azure, so in the Azure, we have some series of virtual machine. We call them sizes. मतलब Azure में बहुत अलग-अलग पर्पस को देखते हुए, अलग-अलग काम को देखते हुए, अलग-अलग इन्होंने कैटेगरीज डिफाइन करी है कि आप कौन से साइज का हार्डवेयर यूज करना चाहते हो. So, accordingly, you can use it. So, if you see here, if you scroll down, you can see the family or you can see the sizes availability. So, let me show you. See, these are the category actually. I will also paste this link into the description box of the video. So general purpose is one of the category. Then we have compute optimize, memory optimize, storage optimize, GPU accelerated, and FPGA accelerated. So these are the sizes or these are the categories of the virtual machines that you can spin up. तो इसमें जो भी आप स्पिन अप करते हो उसमें जो भी इसके अंदर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन है दैट यू विल बी गेटिंग यू कैन इंक्रीज देम एज पर द रिक्वायरमेंट यू कैन ऑलवेज रोल बैक एज पर द रिक्वायरमेंट so if I scroll down you will see their differences also you can just read about them और हर कैटेगरी में कुछ फैमिली है लाइक ए फैमिली बी फैमिली डी फैमिली एज यू कैन सी हियर जैसे यहाँ पे आ रहा है अंडर द जनरल पर्पस देयर इज D2 V4, D2 D V5. So all these theories you can refer from this particular document. So no one is going to ask you during the interview that what is F series, what is FX series. This is something which can be referred from the document. But let me give you a general overview. What are the meaning of these sizes? See, general purpose is one of the category which is generally used for the normal टू मीडियम साइज वर्कलोड लाइक मुझे टेस्टिंग के लिए कोई सर्वर चाहिए डेवलपमेंट के लिए कोई सर्वर चाहिए जहाँ पे वर्कलोड बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होने वाला सो आई कैन यूज द जनरल पर्पस वर्चुअल मशीन्स एंड हियर आई कैन सेव द कॉस्ट एज वेल सो यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा कॉस्ट नहीं होती है वीएम्स की सो नॉर्मल साइज वर्कलोड्स के लिए स्मॉल साइज वर्कलोड्स के लिए या फिर टेस्टिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट सिनेरियोज के लिए यू कैन स्पिन अप द जनरल पर्पस सेकेंड कैटेगरी इज कंप्यूट ऑप्टिमाइज so if you have any kind of requirement where the compute capacity will be highly required, then you can go with the compute optimized series. So generally, if you have any batch processing jobs like you want to run a lot of financial transaction in the backends, then you can go with the compute optimized series. Memory optimize is something where you need heavy memory intensive workload जहाँ पे आपको memory यानी कि RAM से related बहुत ज़्यादा heavy workload run करना है जहाँ पे RAM का use बहुत ज़्यादा होने वाला है so you can go with the memory optimize for example during the SQL virtual machine cases if there is a heavy data to process there is a heavy batch processing job to process then you can go with the memory optimized category then we have some storage optimized. So if you have that kind of requirement where the storage IOPS is going to be used a lot, जहाँ पे storage बहुत ही ज़्यादा कंज्यूम होने वाला है मतलब स्टोरेज में परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी चाहिए आपको रीड एंड राइट की जो कैपेसिटी होती है डेटा सेव करने की डेटा एक्सेस करने की अंडर द स्टोरेज दैट शुड बी ग्रेट देन यू कैन गो विद द स्टोरेज ऑप्टिमाइज just like in the case of video processing we need a very good storage optimized servers. Then comes the GPU accelerated. So GPU stands for graphical processing unit. So if you have any workload which requires a lot of graphic card facility on the servers, then you can go with the GPU accelerated. For example, you let's suppose want to run animations और एनी गेमिंग काइंड ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर ऑन द सर्वर्स कोई ऐसी कोडिंग करनी है जहाँ पे गेमिंग इन्वॉल्व है या हेवी एनिमेशन इन्वॉल्व है सो इन दैट कैटेगरी वी कैन स्पिन अप जीपीयू एक्सेलरेटेड वर्चुअल मशीन सो दिस इज वेरी वेरी कॉस्टली इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्राइसिंग इसकी कॉस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा होती है बिकॉज ऑफ द ग्राफिक कार्ड अवेलेबिलिटी FPGA is something where you need all the परफॉर्मेंस एवरीथिंग शुड बी अप टू मार्क मतलब आपको वहाँ पे मेमोरी परफॉर्मेंस भी अच्छी चाहिए सीपीयू परफॉर्मेंस भी अच्छी चाहिए स्टोरेज आईओस भी अच्छे चाहिए तो एवरीथिंग इफ यू नीड इन वेरी great category then you can go with the FPGA. So in order to run the artificial intelligence workload robotics process automation workloads you can go with the FPGA category. So these are the major differences then you can just go through with this theory if you want to so you can if you want otherwise it's not very much important time to time you can learn about it on the left side also you can see the category about it now let's go to the portal so you can choose the size accordingly आप इनको देख लेना and in the company the sizes will be as per the SOP and as per the user requirement so for now I will just go with the standard D2SV3 where I will be getting let's say 2 CPU and 8 GB of RAM and this is the approximate cost of using the VM so if I go यहाँ पे आप देख पा रहे हो D2SV3 यहाँ पे आपको देखने को मिलेगा somewhere if you will figure out so it will be available and it is the part of general purpose see it is a general purpose VM D2SV3 where I will be getting 2 CPU minimum और इसी के साथ साथ और कैटेगरीज को बढ़ाओगे तो आपको यहाँ D8SV3 में 8 CPU देखने को मिलेंगे then RAM also you can see so in the D2SV3 I can get 8 GB RAM 2 CPU 4 data disk I can attach, and these are the performance of the IOs. Then this is my local storage. So I will be going with this D2S V3. Select this, and anytime if you want to upgrade this or downgrade this, that is also possible. कभी भी इसको कम ज़्यादा करना है, so that we can do as per the requirement. If you scroll down now we have to set up one of the administrator account to operate this virtual machine. So इस VM का, इस server का एक admin account हमें चाहिए, so we can configure it. Last time I told you that we cannot use the name of the admin as administrator. तो आप ये वाला नाम यहाँ पे use नहीं कर सकते, because under the Windows server, the administrator is the root account name, and similarly you cannot use root as a administrator account name here, because this is also reserved for the Linux. So Linux का root account root होता है. So apart from these two names, you are free to choose any name, and these are some of the conventions that you have to follow. कि minimum एक character का और maximum 20 characters का user name आप रख सकते हो, and it should not include the reserved word like administrator and root. बाकी ये सब चीजें special characters को आप use नहीं कर सकते with the username. So I will give a simple username VM admin. Then we have to set the password to operate this server. So password character is this. You can refer this one. I will set one password here. Now, if you scroll down, so there is one option, inbound port rules. So inbound port rules, you can simply say it's like a Windows, it's like a firewall for this virtual machine, just to allow or deny something. So it's kind of regulation that you can apply with the traffic. So traffic को allow या deny करना है VM level पे, then you can go with the inbound port rules option. So there will be a topic in the future which is called NSG, is highly important topic, network security group. So during the network security group, I will be discussing more about this option. For now, what you have to do, because this is a VM, ये एक server बनने वाला है, and this server is going to get created in the Microsoft data center of UK South, right? It is in the Microsoft data center of UK South. So how will I use it? जब ये create हो जाएगा, then how will I use it? So I will have to take the remote of this particular server. मुझे इसका remote लेना पड़ेगा. So in order to take the remote, we have to allow the inbound port access here. If you will keep it none, then you will not be able to take the remote. We have to allow it after the deployment. But right now, you can just go to allow selected ports, and from here you have to give the RDP access so that we can take the remote of this server. So there are 4 ports here by default: HTTP, HTTPS, that we will discuss in the future topics when I will discuss about web servers. SSH and RDPs, these 2 ports are for the remote. So if you want to remote access your server, SSH and RDP, both are the port available. So because it is Windows server, so for Windows, the RDP is the protocol which is responsible for the remote access. So the full form is Remote Desktop Protocol, and the port number is 3389. For Linux platform, it is SSH Secure Shell port number 22. So if you are installing the Linux, you have to enable SSH 22 for the remote access. And if you are installing the Windows, so make sure to select RDP 3389. So here I will be choosing RDP 3389 for the remote access. If you scroll down, there is one option of licensing. So what happens? Suppose you have one on-premises infra right now. मान लो आपके पास on-premises infra है, you are not on cloud. In the on-prem infra, what happens? There will be physical servers, there will be virtualization environment, and on top of that, you will be installing the operating systems. For example, if you install Windows Server 2019 or Windows Server 2012, so for every installation, you will have to purchase the license. हर इंस्टॉलेशन के टाइम पे लाइसेंस परचेज करना पड़ेगा, एंड फॉर द लाइसेंस देयर विल बी एडिशनल कॉस्ट. सो सपोज यू हैव अराउंड 1000 लाइसेंस अवेलेबल फॉर द ऑन प्रीमाइसिस. आपके पास ऑलरेडी 1000 विंडोज के लाइसेंस है, बट इन द फ्यूचर यू हैव डिसाइडेड दैट नाउ आई वांट टू मूव टू द एज्योर क्लाउड. मेरे को अब एज्योर क्लाउड पे स्विच करना है. आई डोंट वांट टू कीप माय इंफ्रा इन द ऑन प्रीमाइसिस. सो दिस लाइसेंस कॉस्ट इज गोइंग टू गेट वेस्टेड. देन ये कॉस्ट तो आपकी खराब हो गई. You have already paid for 1000 operating systems. Now you have decided to go to the cloud, and in the cloud you have a marketplace image. Cloud में तो हम marketplace operating system install कर रहे हैं ना, and we are also paying for it in the monthly rentals. तो उसका भी bill pay करे, plus ये cost मेरी खराब हो गई. It was a expenditure. So what Azure says that if you have the on-premises Windows licenses, you can leverage it on the cloud. अगर आपके पास कुछ लाइसेंस है तो आप उसको Azure क्लाउड में यूज करके you can take up to 49% of the discount. So you can see if you will use your licenses, you will be getting maximum 49% of the discount. So at least you would be able to save some cost in the license. So that part is called Azure Hybrid Benefit Plan. You can learn more about it. So if you have the on-premises license, you can use it. You can get the discount in the pricing. That is called Azure Hybrid Benefit Plan. So इसमें आपको इस बॉक्स को चेक करना पड़ेगा. When you will check this, so you will see right now the cost of the VM operation is around 12,000 something. And if you check this box, so it will reduce down. See, it will come to 7,000 something. So since I don't have any on-premises license right now, so I can remove this checkbox. Otherwise, if you have it, you can check, then you can check this box and click on next. I will remove this one. मेरे पास नहीं है, so I will not use it. Click on next. Then along with the VM deployment, जब आप VM deploy कर रहे हो, so there will be a C drive which is going to get created, and that C drive is going to have the information of the operating system. आपका जो भी OS के boot files होती है, important files होती है, that is going to get loaded inside the C drive. So it is saying that during the VM deployment, we have to attach one of the C drive, one of the OS disk. So it is asking that what will be the size of that particular C drive. आपके C drive का size क्या रखने वाले हो आप इस पे? So it is asking that, and if you want, you can also change it in the future. Right now, it is by default taking 127 GB of space, and if you scroll down, you can see a lot of categories are here. So we can spin up to 2 terabyte of C drive here. 2 TB तक की C drive हम यहाँ पे ले जा सकते हैं. But I will go with the default 127 GB is enough क्योंकि हम कुछ workload run भी नहीं कर रहे हैं. Then there will be type, like what will be the type of storage. So ये जो आप C drive attach कर रहे हो, जो hard disk आप attach कर रहे हो, for this there will be additional cost. मतलब VM का एक एडिशनल चार्ज है क्लाउड में, एंड जो भी डिस्क अटैच होती है उसका एडिशनल चार्ज है. सो जो सी ड्राइव अटैच हो रही है वो पूछ रहा है कि कौन सी कैटेगरी की हार्ड डिस्क आपको अटैच करनी है, जस्ट फॉर द परफॉर्मेंस के परस्पेक्टिव से. बिकॉज सी ड्राइव इज द ड्राइव विच इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर बूटिंग अप माई सर्वर. मेरा सर्वर उसी के थ्रू बूट होगा, सारी फाइल्स उसी के अंदर होगी. सो परफॉर्मेंस इज वेरी मच रिक्वायर्ड. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू द परफॉर्मेंस, we have some categories of the storage here. We can go with standard HDD option. We can go with standard SSD option, and we can go with the premium SSD option. So you have to remember this one. HDD stands for hard disk drive. SSD stands for solid state drive. So standard HDD is the category where if you don't need much speed, much performance, you just need the storage for data store purpose, then you can go with the standard HDD option. यहाँ पे आपकी cost भी बहुत कम होगी, but you will not be getting the high read and write options. So read and write की facility बहुत ज़्यादा आपको नहीं मिलेगी, performance बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं मिलेगी. So testing scenarios में you can go with this one. Then comes the standard SSD option. Standard SSD is somehow good in terms of performance as compared to the HDD option. So here you get the solid state drives, and the read and write capacity will also be good. Then comes the premium. Premium is highly expensive drive. Here you will be getting much IOPS, input output operation per second, read and write key speed, data key security, redundancy, the SLA of the Microsoft, everything is going to be great. So when it comes to the availability, SSD drives under the premium category are highly available. Microsoft gives you very good SLA about it. इसका डाउन टाइम भी बहुत ज्यादा नहीं होता है. सेकेंड नंबर पे स्टैंडर्ड एसएसडी इज गुड, बट फॉर हाई परफॉर्मेंस सेंसिटिव वर्कलोड यू कैन ऑलवेज चूज द प्रीमियम एसएसडी, और यहाँ पे कॉस्टिंग भी इसकी ज्यादा है. So these three are the category, and you can see the same category here: premium SSD, standard SSD, and standard HDD. So you can choose accordingly. You can see the description as well. I will go with standard SSD option because we are not running much workload, so I will be choosing this one. After this is one of the option like delete with VM. So if you will check this box, so once you will delete the VM, so VM के साथ साथ ये disk भी delete हो जाएगी. But if you will not check this, so during the VM deletion, you have to choose whether you want to delete the C drive or not. So this is one of the thing. इसके अलावा इस डिस्क के डेटा को सिक्योर करने के लिए देयर विल बी द प्लेटफॉर्म मैनेज की. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी डिफॉल्ट, जिससे कि आपका डिस्क सिक्योर होगा. देन देयर इज वन ऑप्शन ऑफ डेटा डिस्क दैट आई विल डिस्कस लेटर ऑन. फॉर नाउ आई विल नॉट अटैच एनी डेटा डिस्क. There is a separate topic for this. Click on next. These are the networking options. So regarding the networking option, we will have separate discussion. So uh, every VM is going to be the part of a network which is called virtual network, and it is going to create a new virtual network here. Every VM is going to be the part of a subnet so that it can take the private IPs from there. So it is also going to create a new subnet, and in order to take the access, the remote access of the VM from any location, there should be a public IP on it. So it is creating a new public IP. If you don't want the public IP on this server, you can choose none. But we need the public IP initially to take the remote. Then the NSG, as I told you, that NSG will be a separate discussion in the future. So for now, whatever option is selected, choose it as it is. So I will choose basic option. If you choose the basic option, you will be getting these options, and if you go with the advanced option, so you can configure your own network security groups. So let's leave it basic as of now. अभी इसको ऐसे ही छोड़ते हैं. बेसिक में हमें बस ये चार कैटेगरी मिलती है: HTTP, HTTPS, SSH and RDP अलाउ और डिनाई करने की. एडवांस में हम अपने हिसाब से रूल लगा सकते हैं. लेट्स कीप इट बेसिक. RDP हमने इनेबल किया था बिकॉज इट इज विंडोज, सो 3389 इज ऑलरेडी इनेबल्ड. ये भी वही ऑप्शन है कि अगर आपने ये बॉक्स चेक कर दिया, सो एनआईसी भी डिलीट हो जाएगा जब आप वीएम को डिलीट करोगे. अदरवाइज लीव इट एज इट इज. Accelerated networking, if you will check this box, so it is going to increase the performance of your virtual machine when it comes to the connectivity. So it is one of the option to increase, to enhance the network performance of the VM. So let's leave it default. लोड बैलेंसिंग वी विल डिस्कस इन द फ्यूचर टॉपिक, सो लेट्स कीप इट नन. अभी हमें कोई भी लोड बैलेंसर यूज नहीं करना है. यहाँ पे आप देख पा रहे हो एज्योर लोड बैलेंसर एंड एप्लीकेशन गेटवे लोड बैलेंसर है. दैट वी विल सी इन द फ्यूचर टॉपिक्स. So let's leave it as it is. Click on next. Here are some of the management option, like in order to protect the Azure VMs, there is Defender for Cloud. So you can see my subscription is already having the Defender for Cloud subscription. क्योंकि मेरा पे एज यू गो अकाउंट है, तो इसमें मेरी वीएम्स ऑलरेडी डिफेंडर फॉर क्लाउड से सिक्योर है. एंड इफ यू विल गो विद द फ्री ट्रायल अकाउंट ऑल्सो, देयर ऑल्सो यू विल बी गेटिंग द फ्री ट्रायल डिफेंडर. तो वहाँ पे भी आपकी वीएम सिक्योर रहेगी. Identity, basically, we will discuss in the future topics. This is related to the access to other users through their IDs. So अभी जो भी डिफॉल्ट है इसको रहने देंगे. इंट्रा आईडी इज लाइक योर एजोर एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी, वो भी हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. बैकअप अभी हम नहीं ले रहे हैं. ऑटो शटडाउन आई विल शो यू लेटर ऑन. साइट रिकवरी इज द पार्ट ऑफ बैकअप. सो दीज ऑल टॉपिक्स विल बी डिस्कस्ड इन द फ्यूचर. फॉर नाउ just click on next. Monitoring alert diagnosis, this is also we will discuss in another topics. So जो भी default है next करते हुए. Extension also we will discuss after uh, some more videos. So अभी जो भी यहाँ पे आ रहा है, leave it as it is. ये VM application, custom data, user data, so these all things we will discuss. So whatever important things will be there to make you appear during the interviews and to make you expert in the production scenarios, we are going to discuss that. So don't worry about it. Simply click on next. Now regarding this VM, if you want to add any tags, you can. अगर आप यहाँ पे टैक्स नहीं डालोगे तो रिसोर्स ग्रुप जिसका ये पार्ट है, उस रिसोर्स ग्रुप में जो भी टैक्स होंगे, इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली बी इनहेरिटेड ओवर हियर. अगर आप स्पेसिफिक वीएम के लिए कोई टैग डाल रहे हो, दैट इज ओके. क्योंकि कभी कभी रिसोर्स ग्रुप किसी पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट के बिलोंग करता है और उसके अंदर जो रिसोर्स चल रहे होते हैं वो किसी पर्टिकुलर यूजर के लिए होते हैं. सो इन दैट केस वी कैन डिफाइन द डिटेल ऑफ द tags over here. Otherwise you can skip it if it is going to be the part of resource group inheritance. So I will skip this. Then next, now you will get the validation details. ये चेक कर रहा है सब कुछ. एंड देयर आर सम टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन कि आप मार्केट प्लेस की इमेज यूज कर रहे हो, हम आपके कोई भी डिटेल शेयर नहीं करेंगे, एटसेट्रा. दीज आर सम बेसिक थिंग्स. देन दीज आर द समरी दैट यू हैव चूजन. Now click on create button and let's wait for the creation. So under the notification bell icon, it is going to get deployed now. Let's wait. And during this deployment and everything, I am not going to skip any video. I will be doing the full recording, so there will be no editing. This will be the live scenario, so you have to bear with the timing. I don't want to edit. I want to show you how much real time it is going to take when you will be working on the things. The deployment also depends upon the network speed as well. Sometime it happens in few minutes, sometime it takes some more minutes as well. So network is also one of the determining factor over here. Sometime there are some sync issues with the Microsoft. So again, time is going to get vary every time. So you should know the average response time, otherwise everything is okay. So now you can see the deployment got succeeded. हमारा एक server deploy हो चुका है. And here if you click on the deployment details, so एक सर्वर के साथ साथ और भी कई सारे रिसोर्स क्रिएट होते हैं. इट्स नॉट अबाउट द वीएम. वीएम के साथ साथ हियर यू कैन सी दिस इज माय वर्चुअल मशीन. वीएम के साथ साथ नेटवर्क इंटरफेस भी डिप्लॉय होता है, बिकॉज नेटवर्क इंटरफेस पे ही आपकी आईपी अटैच होती है. सो इट्स लाइक योर एनआईसी कार्ड. उसी के साथ साथ एक वीनेट भी डिप्लॉय हुआ है, बिकॉज योर वीएम इज गोइंग टू बी द पार्ट ऑफ ए नेटवर्क. फिर एक पब्लिक आईपी भी इसके साथ डिप्लॉय हुई है, प्लस एनएसजी, क्योंकि हमने रूल अप्लाई किया है. सो एनएसजी इज ऑल्सो डिप्लॉयड विद द वीएम. सो इट्स नॉट a single VM. Along with the VM in the backend, a lot of stuffs have been deployed. Now if you go to your resource group, तो आप अपनी VM यहाँ पे देख पाओगे. So this is my resource group RG01. If you click on this, these are the resources that you can see inside the VM. So यहाँ पे आप अपनी OS disk जो हमने C drive create करी है वो भी separate देख पा रहे हैं. So these are the separate resources, और इन सब resources के अलग अलग cost है. मतलब VM का cost है, public IP का अपना एक cost है, आपके VNet का, आपके OS disk का अपना एक cost है. NIC is the part of VM, so उसके लिए the cost is included over there. So there are separate resources that you can manage accordingly. Now let's get to the VM. हमारी VM deploy हो चुकी है. So let's go to the virtual machine now. And here you can see we have VM01, and you can see the details around it. If you click on the VM, so you will see it is the part of resource group RG01. It is in the running status. Running status का मतलब है कि VM अभी आपकी चल रही है. It is on. It is in the UK South location, और ये इस सब्सक्रिप्शन का पार्ट है, और इस सब्सक्रिप्शन का ये सब्सक्रिप्शन आईडी है. इट इज रनिंग विद विंडोज सर्वर 2022 डेटा सेंटर एडिशन. ये मेरे वीएम का साइज है, एंड दिस इज द पब्लिक आईपी, और ये वीएम इस नेटवर्क और इस डीएनएस के साथ कनेक्टेड है. सो यू कैन सी ऑल द डिटेल्स. इफ यू स्क्रॉल डाउन, सारी डिटेल्स आपको यहाँ पे दिख जाएगी. कौन सा एजेंट काम कर रहा है, रेडी स्टेट है कि नहीं है. सो दिस आर द समरी दैट यू कैन रेफर. नाउ लेट मी शो यू हाउ टू टेक द रिमोट एक्सेस ऑफ द वीएम. हमने वीएम तो डिप्लॉय कर ली, अब इसका रिमोट एक्सेस कैसे लेंगे, इसको मैनेज कैसे करेंगे. सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट. So the very first type is, if you want to take the remote of the VM, there is one option to connect. If it is window VM, you can simply click on connect. Then there are two options, connect via Bastion and connect. So Bastion option we will discuss in the future topics. For now, you have to click on connect. Once you will click on connect, so it will take you to the connect option available under the connect console. From here, this is the public IP of my server, and you can also see the private IP of the server. So in order to take the remote right now, we need a public IP. So public IP or आपका port 33894 for the window, it should be enabled. So what you can do, you can download one of the RDP file from here. Just download, then click on keep. Once it is downloaded, you can just open this RDP file from your download location, and it will look like this. Now you can click on connect. Here you can see your user ID. जिस user ID से मैंने admin account बनाया था, we just have to enter the password. Because we have given the admin access, so I can access this VM from any location using the public IP. आप किसी भी location से access कर सकते हो. So after entering the password, I will click on OK. Then we have to approve the agreement, the certificate. Click on yes. And now we have the control of this virtual machine. So it is going to get loaded now. So let's wait. Then you will see the first screen of the Windows Server 2022. So this is my Windows Server 2022 first screen, and you can see it is on the remote. So this server is deployed in the Microsoft data center of UK South region, and we are accessing it through the cloud on the Azure platform via remote access. Now, inside this server, you can run your workloads. So server team को या application team को जो भी workload चलाना है, they can run it inside this server. So once you will access the Windows Server environment, it will automatically open the server manager here. Server manager is a dashboard where you can manage the complete workloads inside the Windows. So it will open automatically. If you want to open it manually, you can just click on Windows, and from here you can open the server manager. So it's a server operating system where the workload is going to get run. So you can search for the server manager, then it will open. Even if you click on window button directly, you can see it here. Otherwise, you can search for it. So once I open the server manager, it will take some time to get loaded. You can see some blue lines are going on. This is one of the thing which is happening to refresh. So let's wait for it to get refresh. See, now it has been refreshed and you can see one more console has been added. If you click on add roles and features, so this is the area where you will see a lot of options. See, these are the servers that you can run as part of the workload. So you can see DHCP, DNS, Active Directory, Domain Services, Hyper-V, Network Controller, IIS, WDS, WSUS. So there are a lot of services. And if you want to install any application, you can also install it. You can also manage it. So as a cloud admin, we will be specifically responsible for the server deployment and lifecycle management. The workload management task will be operated by the server team or the development team. Like if they want to run any application, so development team will be responsible for managing the application. And if any server has to be run inside this VM, that will be managed by the server team. So we will not be managing the inside configuration generally in the VMs. We will be responsible for managing the platform only, the infrastructure only from the cloud portal. So this is the first method to access the VM. VM access करने का पहला method ये था. Second method is, let me cancel this one. So second method is like you can go to the VM, and from here what you can do, you can just copy the public IP copy करके, or you can open run and you can type mstsc, then click on OK. Here you can paste your public IP of the server, then click on connect. Then again connect. Here you need to enter the user ID and password like this. मेरे केस में इसलिए आ रहा था because I had downloaded the RTP file earlier. Otherwise आप first time अगर ये option use करोगे, so you have to go to other user and you have to enter the username and password, then click on OK. Then again yes, and you can see the remote has come. See, so this is how you can connect with the VM, and if you know how to manage the Windows server, so you can manage it. आप यहाँ से अपनी private IP check कर सकते हो, and same thing you can check from the portal as well. There are two IPs on the server. One is public IP, one is private IP. इसके बारे में बाद में discuss करेंगे. So you can check it from the portal. You can check inside the VM as well. So if it is on the cloud, generally it is recommended to manage the server from the cloud platform itself, not inside the VM. आप workload चला सकते हो, but when it comes to the IP management, auto assignment, so everything has to be managed through the cloud portal only. Now, let's understand more option from here. So here in the overview of the server, you can see the connect option that we discussed. फिर यहाँ पे एक start का option है, so you can start the VM if it is in shutdown state. Another option is restart. So if you want to restart the virtual machine, you can restart it. It will get restarted. And there is one option, stop. So stop here does not mean normal shutdown. It is not going to do the normal shutdown. Stop is also known as deallocation in Azure. So you can call it deallocate or you can call it stop in Azure. So what is the meaning of this? So when you stop any VM, what happens? As we all know that whatever resource we create in Azure, it is going to get created in the Microsoft data center. Azure में हम जो भी resource create करते हैं वो Microsoft के data center में create होता है. So let's suppose I have created this VM. So in the UK South region, क्योंकि मैंने UK South का region choose किया है, so in the UK South region there will be a data center. Under that data center there will be rack. उस rack में multiple physical servers लगे होंगे. My VM would have been installed in any one of this particular server. मान लो मेरी VM यहाँ पे आके installed हुई है. When I will stop the VM, so what will happen? If I stop the VM, so my VM is going to detached from this particular physical server. मतलब मेरी VM अगर यहाँ पे है, when I stop it, so it is going to detach from this physical host. ये इस physical host से detach हो जाएगी. Detach होने के बाद what will happen? So I would be able to save the cost because it is not attached with the physical host, so I would be able to save the cost. And stop या detach या deallocate करने के बाद क्या होता है? When you start it again, so if the public IP is dynamic in nature, that is going to get changed. अगर आपकी public IP dynamic थी server के ऊपर, so that is going to get changed. Nowadays the IP on the servers are by default static, so public IP static हो गई है, but if in case you have made it dynamic, so it is going to get changed. So you would be able to save the cost and it is going to get detached from the physical host. So that is the specific meaning of the deallocation. So it's not a normal shutdown जहाँ पे सर्वर बंद हो गया है. सर्वर बंद तो हो गया है, साथ ही साथ वो डिटैच भी हो जाता है आपके फिजिकल होस्ट पे से. So if you stop it, it is going to be deallocated. यहाँ पे जो रनिंग स्टेट आ रहा है सर्वर का, ये अगर आपने इसको deallocate या stop किया, so it is going to become deallocate. Let me show you how does it look like. So if you click on stop, so ये deallocation बता रहा है देखो आपको, and it can take up to 1 or 2 minutes. So just click on yes. And under the notification you can see it is stopping my VM and मेरा remote connection भी disconnect हो गया है अब. That's fine because server is no longer connected. So let's wait for the deallocation to happen. And now you can see the status has been changed to stop and deallocated because the VM is no longer working now. It has been detached from the physical host. So अभी ये stop हो गया है. Now you can see the start option has been highlighted. So stop condition में आप remote नहीं ले सकते server का because it is in ऑफ स्टेट. सर्वर बंद हो चुका है एंड यहाँ से जब तक सर्वर ऑफ है आपका, सो आपके जो सर्वर की ऑपरेशनल कॉस्ट है दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू चार्ज. आपके सर्वर में अगर कोई स्टोरेज अटैच है, उसके अंदर जो भी डेटा है उसके चार्जेस आपको देने पड़ेंगे टू द माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, बट यू विल नॉट बी चार्ज फॉर द कंप्यूट कॉस्ट. आपके रैम की कॉस्ट और आपके कंप्यूट की जो आपके सीपीयू की कॉस्ट है, उसकी रनिंग कॉन्फ़िगरेशन की कॉस्ट अब आपकी यहाँ पे स्टॉप हो जाएगी. So if you want to save the cost, you can stop the VM which is not in use. Physical scenario में we always keep the servers on 24/7. वहाँ पे हम physical servers को हमेशा on रखते हैं. But in the cloud, if that's a testing server or a development server where we don't need it for 24 hours, we can stop it just to save some cost. So pay as you go के basis पे bills calculate हो रहा होगा यहाँ पे. Storage के charges हमें देने पड़ेंगे, public IP के charges देने पड़ रहे हैं यहाँ पे, but we will not be paying for the operational charges. Configuration के charges अब हम pay नहीं कर रहे क्योंकि ये stop है. So let me start it again. So these are some of the basic things here. Capture हम discuss करेंगे आगे के topics में. If you want to delete this VM, you can just click on the delete option. और यहाँ पे जैसे ही आप डिलीट पे क्लिक करोगे, सो यू कैन सी अलोंग विद द वीएम इसके साथ एक ओएस डिस्क भी है. सो इफ यू वांट टू डिलीट दिस यू कैन चेक दिस. इफ यू वांट टू डिलीट द नेटवर्क इंटरफेस यू कैन चेक दिस, एंड इफ यू वांट टू डिलीट द पब्लिक आईपी यू कैन चेक इट अकॉर्डिंगली. आप अगर सिर्फ वीएम डिलीट करना चाहते हो, ओएस डिस्क को बचाना चाहते हो, सो डोंट चेक दिस बॉक्स. जितना आप चेक करोगे वही डिलीट होगा. सब कुछ डिलीट करना है, सो चेक ऑल द बॉक्सेस. अदरवाइज आप चाहते हो पब्लिक आईपी बच जाए, ये दो चीजें डिलीट हो जाए, सो यू कैन ऑल्सो डू दैट. We have the flexibility about it, but I don't want to delete anything for now. बाकी ये रिफ्रेश करने का ऑप्शन है. ओपन इन मोबाइल का मतलब है यू कैन जस्ट ओपन द माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एप्लीकेशन फ्रॉम द मोबाइल फोन टू मैनेज. फीडबैक देना है आपको माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का, यू कैन जस्ट क्लिक एंड यू कैन ऑलवेज सबमिट द फीडबैक रिगार्डिंग देयर सर्विस. And if you want to manage this resource using the CLI and PowerShell, PS means PowerShell, you can always click and it will open the console and you can manage them. So ये कुछ commands है, कुछ प्री डिफाइंड स्क्रिप्ट्स है कि VM को डीएलोकेट करने के लिए. यहाँ पे आपको देखो, दिस इज द पावरशेल स्क्रिप्ट. यू कैन सी VM को स्टॉप करने के लिए पावर ऑफ स्टॉप रनिंग VM, डीएलोकेट है VM. सो स्टॉप करने का मतलब यहाँ पे वही हो गया कि आपकी VM जो है स्टॉप हो जाएगी. एंड डीएलोकेट करने का मतलब हो गया इट इज गोइंग टू डिटैच फ्रॉम द होस्ट एज वेल. रीस्टार्ट करने के लिए ये कमांड, ये स्क्रिप्ट है. सो दीज आर द स्क्रिप्ट्स दैट यू कैन सिंपली क्लिक ऑन रन एंड इट विल गेट स्टार्टेड. सो CLI के थ्रू मैनेज करना है, तो यहाँ पे कुछ रेडीमेड स्क्रिप्ट्स है. यू कैन जस्ट click on the run option and it is going to get run. So you can explore these option as well. This is very good option. यहाँ पे आप स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ सकते हो कि स्क्रिप्ट कैसे कहाँ काम कर रही है. Now let's go to the VM again. VM में दोबारा से आते हैं. लेफ्ट साइड में कुछ ऑप्शन है लाइक एक्टिविटी लॉग इज हियर. सो इफ यू क्लिक ऑन द एक्टिविटी लॉग्स, सो सर्वर से रिलेटेड, इस VM से रिलेटेड जितनी भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्टिविटीज हुई है उनके सारे लॉग्स यहाँ पे एक्टिविटी लॉग्स में जनरेट होते हैं. जस्ट लाइक हियर यू कैन सी द VM गॉट क्रिएटेड 17 मिनट्स बैक. उसके बाद उसको डीएलोकेट किया. सो जिसने डीएलोकेट किया, किस टाइम पे किया, कौन से सब्सक्रिप्शन में था और किसने वो डीएलोकेशन करी है, यू वुड बी एबल टू सी द आईडी. फिर स्टार्ट किया VM को 2 मिनट्स बैक एंड किसने स्टार्ट किया है, यू वुड बी एबल टू सी इट. सो ऑल द हिस्ट्री रिलेटेड टू द एडमिन एक्टिविटी, लाइक मैंने रीस्टार्ट किया, स्टॉप किया या फिर क्रिएशन किया, कुछ चेंजेस किए, एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टू गेट लॉग्ड इन द एक्टिविटी लॉग. एंड यू कैन अप्लाई द फिल्टर अकॉर्डिंगली. आप यहाँ पे फिल्टर लगा सकते हो अपने हिसाब से लॉग्स को चेक करने के लिए. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट इज गोइंग टू शो यू दिस लॉग फॉर 1 मंथ. लेटेस्ट 1 मंथ का लॉग माइक्रोसॉफ्ट स्टोर करता है, उसके बाद वो उसको रिमूव कर देगा यहाँ से. इफ यू वांट टू कीप इट, so you can always download it in the CSV version or you can export it to some other platform. Export हम बाद में देखेंगे. We have some option to export like log analytics workspace में हम इसको export कर सकते हैं, event hub में export कर सकते हैं. See, we have that option. So this is important topic as part of the monitoring. So ये सब बाद में देखेंगे हम. CSV is like a normal Excel file download. If you will click on this, it will download the Excel file and you can keep your logs in the local system. See, it has been downloaded. If you open this, so it will show you the log details. So ये सारे logs यहाँ पे आ चुके हैं. तो local रखना है, local रख सकते हो. किसी अलग platform पे export करना है cloud में, you can always export. Then there is one option on the left, IAM, which is known as Identity and Access Management or Access Control. इस VM में किसी को भी अगर आपको परमिशन देनी है कि आपकी कंपनी का कोई भी यूजर, दैट पर्सन शुड बी एबल टू यूज इट, हाउ मच विल बी द प्रिविलेज एक्सेस, रीड का, राइट का या फुल एक्सेस, सो यू कैन डिफाइन इट फ्रॉम हियर. सो ये हम एजोर रेडी के टाइम पे डिस्कस करेंगे, हाउ टू मैनेज द परमिशन. यू कैन सी द टैग्स ऑफ द VM फ्रॉम हियर. अभी यहाँ पे कोई टैग्स नहीं है क्योंकि रिसोर्स ग्रुप के टैग्स को ये यूज करेगा. इफ यू वांट टू ऐड सम टैग्स यू कैन ऐड इट एंड यू कैन क्लिक ऑन अप्लाई. Then diagnose and solve problem is a console where if there is any issue with the VM, so it is going to show you here. So अभी कोई issue नहीं है इसलिए कुछ नहीं दिखा रहा. And these are some automated documents कि अगर कोई issue आ रहा है तो आप उसको यहाँ पे आके check करके, explore करके, then you can troubleshoot. So यहाँ पे chat box भी है. You can type your issue. अगर if you are facing any issue, you can type it and it will show you suggestion. जैसे मान लो for example, not able to RDP into VM. Enter. So it will show you a lot of options to troubleshoot. It will show you the documentations. और ये यहाँ पे देखो आपको AI के थ्रू पूरा आप सेलेक्ट कर सकते हो. कैन नॉट कनेक्ट टू द VM, इशू क्या है, क्लिक ऑन नेक्स्ट. सो यू कैन जस्ट go through with their troubleshooting guides. See, it will show you everything. Like आप रीसेट कर दो VM को, so it will show you the इट विल हेल्प यू टू ट्रबल शूट द इशू ऑफ द रिमोट एक्सेस. तो बहुत सारे यहाँ पे रेडीमेड ऑप्शन है थ्रू द AI दैट यू कैन रेफर. सो नाउ इट इज द ट्रबल शूटिंग हैज बिकम समहाउ easier एज कम्पेयर टू अर्लियर. आज की डेट में ट्रबल शूटिंग ईजी हो गई है. अर्लियर इट वॉज बिट डिफिकल्ट because you have to do everything with your own, but nowadays the AIs are available, so बहुत सारे काम खुद से हो जाते हैं. मतलब नॉर्मल काम तो आजकल होने लग गए हैं. Then if you see the resource visualizer option is here, so it will show you how the things are connected. तो ये आपको graphical overview देगा कि आपका जो VM है उसके साथ एक OS disk connected है और उसके साथ एक network interface भी connected है. So it will show you the map of how the things are connected. So this is also very good thing which helps you as part of the graph. If you click on zoom to fit, so it will show you the things. Connect option हमने discuss कर ही लिया. नेटवर्किंग वी विल डिस्कस इन द फ्यूचर टॉपिक्स. इफ यू गो टू द सेटिंग्स तो यहाँ पे आपने जो भी उस टाइम पे डिफॉल्ट ऑप्शन चूज किए थे सब आप यहाँ पे देख पाओगे एंड यू कैन मॉडिफाई देम. सो इफ यू गो टू द डिस्क यू कैन सी माय ओएस डिस्क हियर. हमने स्टैंडर्ड एसएसडी चूज किया था. एलआरएस इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग दैट वी विल डिस्कस ड्यूरिंग द स्टोरेज. 127 GB का मेरा स्टोरेज है एंड दीज आर द परफॉर्मेंस थिंग्स. डेटा डिस्क अभी कोई भी इसमें अटैच नहीं है. एक्सटेंशन एप्लीकेशन हमने कुछ भी नहीं किया था. ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम डिटेल्स आर दिस वन. सो इट इज यूजिंग विंडोज सर्वर 2022. दिस इज द यूजर आईडी. सक्सेसफुली इनेबल हो चुका है. हम लोग हाइब्रिड लाइसेंसिंग यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं. वी आर यूजिंग द मार्केट प्लेस लाइसेंस. सो यू कैन सी एवरी डिटेल्स हियर. कॉन्फ़िगरेशन यू कैन सी जो जो हमने वहाँ पे डिफॉल्ट चूज किया था. सो सम ऑप्शंस आर चेंजेबल, सम आर नॉट. जैसे सिक्योरिटी टाइप हमने ट्रस्टेड लॉन्च पीएम चूज किया था बट नाउ इट इज नॉट चेंजेबल. सो वट एवर सिक्योरिटी मेथड यू चूज you cannot roll it back. There is a option in Azure which is called advisor recommendation. So this is one of the option which is going to scan your resource and it will give you the recommendation if something is lacking in terms of security, in terms of compliance, in terms of auditing. So it will give you that recommendation and it will also give you the recommendation to fix it. So this is also very good practice here, जिससे कि बहुत सारी चीज़ों को हम कंप्लायंस मैनेज कर सकते हैं, सिक्योरिटी मैनेज कर सकते हैं. राइट नाउ देयर इज नो रिकमेंडेशन फॉर माई वीएम बट इट कम्स विथ एवरी रिसोर्स. सो इसके बारे में बाद में डिस्कशन करेंगे. व्हेन यू गो टू द प्रॉपर्टी अगेन यू कैन सी ऑल द डिटेल्स रिलेटेड टू द सर्वर. किस सब्सक्रिप्शन का पार्ट है, उसका आईडी क्या है, कौन सा रिसोर्स ग्रुप है, यू कैन सी एवरीथिंग. So these are the navigation options actually. Availability sets, logs is one of the option which will protect your servers from the accidental deletion. So we will discuss about it. This is a practical topic. Under the availability plus scale, you can see the size of the VM. यहाँ पे आपको VM का जो configuration size जो हमने लिया था D2SP3, you can see that. And if you want to change it, you can always change it. Availability scaling we will discuss later on. Then the security options also are there, जो जो हमने choose किए थे. Backup disaster recovery we will discuss in the future. Under the operations, you can see there is one option auto shutdown. So if you want to set the auto shutdown timing of this VM कि एक particular time के बाद मुझे manually आके सर्वर को बंद ना करना पड़े. Let's say I want that after uh, every night at 1 a.m. रात 1 बजे हर रोज मेरा सर्वर अपने आप बंद हो जाए. सो आई कैन जस्ट टर्न इट ऑन. आई कैन सेट द टाइम, आई कैन चूज द टाइम जोन एंड आई कैन क्लिक ऑन सेव. सो अपने आप ही उस टाइम पे मेरा सर्वर ऑफ हो जाएगा. बट रिमेंबर वन थिंग, सर्वर इज गोइंग टू गेट शट डाउन बट whenever you want to use it you have to manually restart it. तो आपको उसको आके स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. ऑटो स्टार्ट नहीं होगा, ऑटो शट डाउन होगा. But if you want the auto restart should also happen, then you can define the rules in the automation accounts. So there is one topic here, automation accounts. So you can define the triggers with the automation account और जिस सर्वर को आप चाहते हो कि इस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे बंद हो जाए और इस पर्टिकुलर टाइम में अपने आप ऑन हो जाए. सो यू कैन ऑलवेज डिफाइन दैट रूल. बट ये वाले ऑप्शन से सर्वर सिर्फ ऑफ होंगे. इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू गेट रीस्टार्टेड ऑटोमेटिकली. बट ऑटोमेशन ट्रिगर से आप स्टार्ट और ऑफ दोनों के ट्रिगर्स लगा सकते हो. तो ये सब हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. देयर इज वन ऑप्शन रन कमांड. इफ यू वांट टू रन सम कमांड्स विदाउट गेटिंग इनसाइड द वीएम के अंदर जाए बिना अगर आपको कुछ कॉन्फ़िगरेशन चेंजेस करने हैं, सो यू कैन ऑलवेज रन कमांड. सो यहाँ से आप डायरेक्ट कोई कमांड रन कर सकते हो पावर शेल की. यू कैन जस्ट go and you can just click on this, then it will give you the console. For example यहाँ पे कुछ scripts है. जैसे for example you want to check the IP of this server, so you want to run ipconfig command. Simply click on this ipconfig and if you click, this is the script ipconfig/all की कमांड चलने वाली है, एंड दिस इज द encryption की. इस पूरे encryption की से आपका कम्युनिकेशन सिक्योर होगा. इफ यू क्लिक ऑन रन, नाउ इट विल शो यू द आउटपुट. सो सर्वर पे अंदर जाए बिना कुछ कमांड्स चला के हम उसके आउटपुट्स को चेक कर सकते हैं. कुछ डिसेबल इनेबल करना है, वी कैन चेक इट फ्रॉम हियर. सी, you can see a lot of options, so you can explore them accordingly. Let's wait. Script is under the process. And make sure your server is on. If it is in the deallocation status, this script is also not going to work. So let's wait. See, now you can see the IP config parameters here. सारी details हमें दिख रही है. बाकी अपडेट सर्वर को कैसे अपडेट करना है, सो अभी फिलहाल ये माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के अपडेट से ऑटोमेटिकली अपडेट हो रहा है ये सब. द अपडेट टॉपिक इज अ डिफरेंट टॉपिक ऑल टुगेदर. हेल्थ मॉनिटरिंग के ऑप्शंस इनेबल कर सकते हो आप. पॉलिसीज इज वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक दैट आई विल टेक एज ए सेपरेट सेशन. एज योर पॉलिसी में बहुत सारे कंप्लायंस, बहुत सारे रूल्स लगा सकते हो आप. सो देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. मॉनिटरिंग इज वेरी कॉमन, वी विल डिस्कस दैम इन फ्यूचर टॉपिक. ऑटोमेशन, ये आपको अगर टेम्पलेट एक्सपोर्ट करना है कि ये वीएम जो है बैकएंड में किस कोड पे चल रही है, यू कैन एक्सपेंड देम, यू कैन डिफाइन सम टास्क हियर. आप यहाँ पे कुछ टास्क डिफाइन कर सकते हैं जो कि ऑटोमेटिकली चलेगा. यू कैन डिफाइन द शेड्यूल कि सर्वर जैसे ही स्टार्ट हो ये वाली बैच फाइल बैकएंड में रन करने लग जाए. सो वी कैन डिफाइन द टास्क लाइक टास्क शेड्यूलर. सो यू कैन ऑलवेज ऐड द टास्क फ्रॉम हियर. उसके लिए आपको एक टेम्पलेट क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा कि जैसे वीएम स्टार्ट करना चाहता हूँ मैं ऑटोमेटिकली, या डिलोकेट करना चाहता हूँ, या पावर ऑफ कर देना चाहता हूँ, या मेरे को मंथली कॉस्ट चाहिए हमारे रिसोर्सेज का इस वीएम से रिलेटेड. सो यू कैन चूज इट, यू कैन क्लिक ऑन नेक्स्ट, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन जस्ट सेटअप द थिंग्स. तो आपको सब सेटअप करना पड़ेगा, देन इट विल गेट कॉन्फ़िगर्ड. टास्क का नाम, ईमेल आईडी, किस पे रिपोर्ट चाहिए आपको, सो यू कैन ऑलवेज चूज इट अकॉर्डिंगली. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू वांट टू सेट अप द टास्क दैट द वीएम शुड गेट स्टार्टेड ऑटोमेटिकली, सो नेक्स्ट. सो यहाँ पे आपको टास्क क्रिएट करना है. यू कैन क्रिएट अपने आईडी से, आप लॉग इन करके, या जिसके भी आईडी से आपको करवाना है, यू कैन ऑलवेज डू दैट. उसके बाद यहाँ पे डिटेल्स देनी है, किस टाइम पे सर्वर स्टार्ट करना है, किसको नोटिफाई करना है, एंड देन इट विल गेट स्टार्टेड. सो दिस इज रिलेटेड टू द ऑटोमेशन. सो सर्वर ऑफ करने के लिए आप ऑटो शट डाउन कर सकते हो. सर्वर ऑन करने के लिए यू कैन डिफाइन द टास्क, एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो डू इट थ्रू द ऑटोमेशन अकाउंट्स. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल. सो अंडर द हेल्प, इफ यू वांट टू रेज एनी टिकट टू द माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, यू कैन. रिसोर्स की हेल्प चेक करनी है, पासवर्ड रिसेट करना है सर्वर का, performance diagnostics, redeploy, reapply. So these are the options that we will discuss as the right time will come, because there are a lot of things that we cannot shoot in this video. So जिसका जैसे भी time आएगा, right time पे we will discuss about everything. If you go to the overview, there is one option, JSON, JSON, JavaScript Notion. If you click on this, so this is the JavaScript code which is running in the backend regarding this server. So Azure uses the ARM template and bicep template to manage the code of the underlying resources. So जो भी resource चलते हैं उनके backend में कुछ code काम कर रहा है, which is in the JSON. So you can see it here. So VM का नाम आप यहाँ पे देख पा रहे हो किस subscription में है. उसके बाद the size of the VM. So you can edit the things from here as well. कौन सा operating system है, कौन सी disconnected है, कैसे mode में है, user ID क्या है. So you can explore all the code options from here. तो इस कोड के थ्रू भी डिप्लॉयमेंट कर सकते हो आप फर्दर. इसमें आप एडिटिंग करके देन यू कैन मॉडिफाई इट अकॉर्डिंगली. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड जेसन व्यू. सो this is how the server is deployed. Now let me show you one more deployment for the Linux, then we will wrap up this session. So this was Windows server. Now similarly we are going to install the Linux also. So for Linux deployment, again we will go to the virtual machine, click on create, then Azure Virtual Machine. So you have to choose the subscription. रिसोर्स ग्रुप आपको नया बनाना है, आप नया बना सकते हो. आई विल डिप्लॉय इट इन द सेम रिसोर्स ग्रुप. एक ही रिसोर्स ग्रुप में हम मल्टीपल रिसोर्सेज रन कर सकते हैं, दैट्स ओके. देन वीएम नेम आई विल गिव, लेट सपोज VM-02. लोकेशन इफ यू वांट यू कैन चेंज, अदरवाइज यू कैन कीप इट. I will not make it the part of any redundancy, so no redundancy required. Here I will pick, for example, Ubuntu Linux. Ubuntu server choose कर रहे हैं अगर हम. Site. So for Linux, we don't require very heavy configuration. I will go with simple 1 GB RAM and 1 core of CPU, because Linux is in the CLI mode. So Linux के लिए ज़्यादा configuration की requirement नहीं है. In terms of creating the administrator account, either you can go with the public key of SSH, जिसके लिए आपको key create करनी पड़ती है, or you can set the password. So I will go with the password. Username में आप एक username set करो admin के लिए, then password. So same deployment as we did for the Windows. कोई changes नहीं. कंफर्म करने के लिए सेम पासवर्ड अगेन. एज आई मेंशन्ड फॉर लिनक्स द पोर्ट नंबर इज गोइंग टू बी एसएसएच ओनली, सो एसएसएच इनेबल करेंगे हम फॉर द रिमोट एक्सेस. क्लिक ऑन नेक्स्ट. बाकी ये आपके ओएस डिस्क, तो 30 GB का लिनक्स में डिफॉल्ट दिखा रहा है. इफ यू वांट यू कैन मेक इट अप टू 2 TB. आप इसको बाद में भी चेंज कर सकते हो. देन विच काइंड ऑफ स्टोरेज यू वांट टू चूज. सो लेट्स सपोज आई वांट टू यूज स्टैंडर्ड एसएसडी, तो मैंने वो चूज कर लिया. बाकी सब सेम ऑप्शन है. नेक्स्ट. So network options, everything, next, 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 and everything is going to remain same. So no changes, nothing. आप एक एक करके explore कर सकते हो. Then finally, I will click on create. Now let's wait for the deployment. So Linux deployment will also be our job in the organization as like Windows. Windows, Linux सब कुछ हम ही deploy कर रहे हैं. So along with the VM deployment, as I mentioned, there will be a lot of things which is going to get created. So यहाँ पे एक network interface create हो रहा है. Then NSG, public IP. So these all things are going to get created, and it is Ubuntu server. So जिस time पे आपने deployment start किया है, you can also see that from here. So now you can see the deployment is completed. And similarly, if you go to the virtual machine now, so you can see we have VM2 as well, and it is on the Linux platform. ये इसका public IP है. If you click on this VM02, so you will see the same options. The only difference is it is Linux Ubuntu 24.04 version. Rest of the options are same. कोई changes नहीं है यहाँ पे. Now, if you want to take the remote of the Linux, so you cannot take it using RDP. RDP का जो MSTSC option था उससे हम नहीं ले सकते. So for taking the remote of the Linux, you need a tool which is called Extra Putty. So it is free tool. There is no license requirement. It is free for the company also. You can simply go to the browser and you can type Extra Putty, download. कंपनी में भी यही tool use होगा. You can go to their official site, which is putty.org. I will paste the link into the description box. Simply click on download putty, and you have to download this putty from here. So just click on download putty. Then you have to download it for 64-bit because my operating system on the laptop is 64-bit. So just click on this installer x86. Now the download process has been started. Now you can just download it. So it is already there in my laptop. Let me first uninstall it, then I will show you how to do the installation. So let me see if it is there or not. Yeah, it is there. So let me just remove it so that I can show you the fresh installation of it. So now the removal is done. Now let me show you the installation. So we can install it in our laptops. You can download it as per your operating system. Like here we have multiple options. We can download it for the Linux as well. See. So you can download it for the window, you can download it for the Linux. So options are available. You can choose it accordingly. See, I have downloaded it for the window. Now I will go to the download location. This is the setup. So just double click and it is MSI installer. So simply click on next, next, and install. So it is getting installed. And when the screen is on the share mode, sometime also this also slow down the operational process for the installation and everything. Simply click on yes now. So it's like a normal installation. Next finish wala. Now finish. So now the tool has been installed. This is the license agreement. Just cancel it. Now if I click on the window button and if I open the putty, so this is the app that I can open. Simply open it. This is how it will look like. Here what I need to do, I need to just go and copy paste my public IP of the Linux VM. Just copy and paste. Port number should be 22 because we are accessing the remote of Linux. So 22 port number enable. SSH के through remote आ रहा है. SSH is the protocol for the remote access. Then click on open. And now we have to accept this encryption key. So just accept. And here we can log in. This is the Linux screen. So it is totally on the CLI. Let me increase the font. मैं इसके साइज को बढ़ा रहा हूँ font के. And here we can log in. Our user ID is VM admin. So enter. Now we have to enter the password of this VM because it is Linux. So you cannot see the password. It is highly secure kind of stuff. So password के character भी visible नहीं होते. Now we have logged in. So we are logged in with the VM admin account on VM02, and currently we are logged in with the user privilege role. So dollar means we are with the user privilege role. So Linux, बाद में I will make another series just to make you aware about the Linux functionality and how to use it in the admin scenario. So this is how the Linux works. You can simply run the command host name to check the host. It is VM02. So the person who knows the Linux, they can manage it. In the organization, there will be the team who will be managing the Linux. So in some company, if it is very small, so one person is able to manage everything. But if it is a established organization, there will be team to manage different aspects. So now the Linux installation is also completed. So so far, if you go to my resource group, you can see in RG01, we have a lot of resources here. We have, let me just correct the type sequence. So you can see we have here the VM01 also, VM02 also. So we have the things, we have the public IP, we have the network details and everything. So far we have discussed about all such things. We have also discussed the deployment of the Linux as well. So we also discussed about some basic navigation. Now we are very much okay to the deployment of the Linux and Windows. We can access them, we can manage them. So that's it in this particular video. In the next session, we will be discussing about the disk types like OS disk, data disk, and temporary disk. Then we will discuss some more options here. So for now, let's end up this call. So thank you very much for your timing. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.